this long and weighs over this, it has to be a fifth wheel.
A whale's tail? Hey, I think we're live.
Danatra is the bay.
We'll see if anybody's finished with dinner and gonna tune in and say hello to us tonight. So anyway, so what are you looking up? The requirements? I think it's preference, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine the fifth wheels are more expensive too. Just the way that the frame structure has to, or it attaches to the frame.
Well, and then the you got to get the setup too for your truck because you got to get the fifth wheel set up in the bed of your truck. So there's definitely added cost to it. But I think the advantage is it's got the weight is over the axle instead of on the tongue, so you don't get that bouncing. You know, like if you have a
Yeah.
heavy tongue weight, the front of your truck is like, wow, wow.
Yeah, Rob's even did that on my truck.
Yeah.
Porpoises almost.
Did he have the sway bar links or the torsion bars too?
He did.
Did you have those hooked up or no?
Yeah.
And it was still doing it?
Yeah. I just think that you're starting to push the limits. Well, I mean, that's still a 1500. Just because the powertrain's diesel doesn't mean. I mean, it calmed down, but he said his does it too.
Did you tell it to calm down or did it do it on its own?
No.
You're like, hey,
just chill out.
Calm down.
Or otherwise, we're going to beat you into a fifth wheel.
I like this camera.
I would imagine that stability too on swaying, like not the bobbing so much. Obviously, the bobbing too, but like fishtailing.
Yeah, so yes, the sway bar. I think the sway bar links. They're actually called sway bar links, I believe. There's like a stabilizer, and then there's a torsion link. So it like takes some of the tongue weight off the bumper. Plus, I think there's another arm that stabilizes it, so it's stiffer against the truck, so it's not like pivoting just on the single ball.
Mm-hmm.
It has like an additional stabilizer, I guess they call it, sway bar.
Yeah, that's what he had.
So I mean, those trailer hitches are, I think they're a little pricey to set up. But then with the fifth wheel, no, I don't think you need all that stuff. And I don't think you can even hook any of that up. I mean, the fifth wheel is all the weight's right above the axle in the bed of the truck.
And it moves the pivot point over the wheels as opposed to extend it out.
Yeah, so you got a lot better turning radius. You can turn the truck fully. You don't have to worry about really jackknifing it like you do with a trailer, like a bumper tow.
So he's towing, I don't know what that thing weighs. I think it weighs 7,000 pounds.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a lot of weight to be putting out on. And then I know what Ford says. Well, we can tow 14,000 pounds. Just because you can, don't mean you should. And then for how long?
Right. And then the other thing too is like at that weight you should have trailer brakes set up. A lot of people they'll tow stuff like that without trailer brakes because they're like, oh, my truck can tow it. It's rated for that. But they don't have brakes set up. And it's like, all right, maybe you can get it going, but you need to be able to stop it too, you know?
So I was talking to a guy. I'm actually finishing up his boat from last year as far as canvas. He does a lot of hauling of boats, big boats. And he's got a 550 that he tows with. So that's how big he is. But I was asking him about the cost to tow a boat from Florida to here. It'd be about 12 grand, 9 to 12 grand, depending on the boat. But he was also sharing some of the other costs that are associated with it. Like he's changing his bearings on his trailer once a month.
Wow.
Once a month.
I mean, how many trips is he doing?
A lot. Oh, not to Florida. He would change them right after that trip.
So one trip from Florida to the Northeast, what is that, like 1,600 miles?
Well, you got to figure he's towing down there. So yeah, it's like 1,300 down, 1,300 back.
So he's changing bearings at like we'll call it 3,000 miles. I mean, that seems I guess you don't want to get jammed up, but I mean that seems excessive to me. But I don't know.
No, that's what he does for a living.
I guess it's easier to do it when it's convenient rather than on the side of I-95.
I think he was saying his Just his insurance alone, he's paying like 60 or 80 grand a year.
Wow.
Just in insurance. That's insane.
Yeah, but I mean, what's he towing for boats? $200,000 boats, $100,000 boats,
Yeah.
300.
Yeah.
So he does. It's $12,000 to move it one way.
I think it's 9 to 12, depending on the boat, and it also depends on. So when you get over, I think it's over 10 feet or 10 and a half feet, you have to get certification through each state that you go to,
Oh, for the width. Yeah.
and you can only tow on certain days.
Right.
Plus, you have to have these wide load crews ahead of you and behind you, so you're paying them to either drop you off into a part of the state where another crew picks you up in that part of the state, so they're getting paid, plus tolls.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not cheap.
It's like so. Let me see. I think he said it was $650 a mile.
That's what his cost is, $650 a mile.
That's
that's
what he charges. Yeah. So there you go, $650 a mile at 1,300 miles down to Florida.
That's a lot.
That's 65, 78, 9 grand.
Yeah, you're good at math. 650 times 1,300. 8,450 bucks.
Yep. Plus the tolls.
Wow, that's a lot. Are we up on your computer? Because we have zero. We have nobody.
I'm not joining. If nobody else join, I'm not joining either.
Oh wait, we do have people. Oh, Dina's there. Shasta's there. I wonder why it didn't show up.
So I'll tell you, there's a new series we started watching. Let us help you get connected. The series is called The American Family, but the documentary is called The Curious Story of Natalia Grace, I think. And looks like I'm not connected to the internet. What is going on here? That is the most bizarre. The network adapter driver might not be working.
What's it called? The American Family?
So you have to look up The Curious Story of Natalia Grace, I think. Everybody involved here, including the people in the state, everybody is nuts. Like,
is that in Connecticut?
No, it's in Indiana.
Oh, I was gonna say that sounds like Connecticut.
So my kids asked me, what is the craziest state or worst state that I lived in? And Indiana, I lived in there for a short stint, and that always comes up as number one. It is the weirdest state.
Really?
Oh, it's bananas.
I would have never picked that.
It's the worst. So this occurs in Indiana, and so as soon as I found out it was router access point, restart your PC. Why am I not connected? Every other time I connect to this thing. Let me go here. Not connected. Bluetooth available. Maybe I gotta.
What the heck, dude? This is what you should have been doing when we were bullshitting instead of on live. Eh?
I don't want Bluetooth. I want Wi-Fi available. It says it's available.
You're gonna get what you get.
Oh, Arcot. What am I looking for? Arcot
5EXT.
5. Connect. Do I need a password?
Yeah. Didn't you connect to it last time?
I think last time was my phone.
Oh.
Joe Biden is a.
Well, I don't know why I can't see these comments. Oh, there they are. Hey, Brian. Okay, there they are. So she's obviously seen it because she says it's a crazy story, and Brian says he agrees.
It is the craziest story I think I've ever seen. And just when you think you have it figured out, and you're like, okay, I get what's going on, it takes a left-hand turn on you just as quick as you think you figured it out. It's bananas. Everything about it is just, I'm good.
All right.
Is Crazy. Well, I guess so. I basically binge watched it, and I got to the third season is coming out. I think April 15th.
Is it on Netflix or something?
Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, something.
Story, and Brian says he agrees. It is the great Hulu. I don't have Netflix anymore. I got rid of it. I couldn't take it. So you know what movie I just watched? American Made.
That's a great movie.
Tom Cruise, the
That's
one you
great.
told me to check out.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And the thing that's really messed up about it is it's a true story.
I at the end, I want to hope that he didn't get taken out. I do, and I don't know if he like went into some sort of witness protection plan or maybe had an exit out to
You just ruined the movie for anybody who wanted to watch it.
hide himself. But dude,
It is insane, dude.
to realize that that's a true story too. But that was a great movie, and it's Tom Cruise is a fantastic actor at that, and I'm not I do think he's a good actor in a lot of his stuff. I'm not a fan of some of his other things, but
Yeah, I think I'm all set with Tom Cruise lately.
he did a good job.
Tommy.
Yeah, so that was the other thing, Brian, was when I first started watching it, I was like, this is some freaky little Ring story of a kid type of thing. It was just bizarre. And so the whole family, they adopt what they think is a 6 or 7 year old girl. And then like within a day or two of adopting her, they're giving her a bath, and this child had a full on bush, basically. Hate to say that about a child, but the mom freaks out, and I guess that she's got like very developed on the top side as well. And so in some of the pictures they showed her, she looks like a child. She looks like a little kid and what have you. She's obviously very smart. That's another point that I picked up from this. So it makes you question it. Then it goes into this investigative portion of it, and there's cops involved. Everybody's involved, and none of the story is making any sense about anything. The family that adopted her was they were nutty themselves. The mother herself, I think she was the true rotten one of the entirety of the bunch, but all of them they're a bit off the planet, man. They are. They're just not grounded.
And did you say that's a true story?
It's a true story.
That's not cool. I don't. These true stories that are that messed up. It's like that woman they just arrested down here, right in Connecticut. She had her stepson
For 20 years.
No, I mean I'm interested to see how this court case plays out, because I mean, do you think that's true?
Yeah. Yeah, based on the way that. So, have you seen any of the testimony from the locals that actually knew him when he was in school? They're like, he just disappeared, but we felt bad for him. He was always hungry, digging in the trash for food.
He was what, 32, and they pulled him out of the house. He was 68 pounds or something like that.
So I don't know how much. I didn't see that, but he was older, right?
Yeah.
So it's just think that's what right? That's what's been discovered. And then recently there was another one that's going around. Have you heard about this? I don't know if it's a murderer or
I just heard that today about possible serial killer.
Serial killer, right?
Connecticut, Rhode Island area. So,
but this individual's taking out like grown dudes that are in their 20s.
oh God.
I'm like,
what's he using?
I don't know, but there's like a 20-something year old guy that's missing, and he looked like he was in shape. They can't find him. They're obviously tying it back to this, but whether or not there's truth to it, I don't know. But bananas it is.
So one of the I'm on this fishing page in Connecticut, on Facebook fishing page, and they must have just recently found some human remains. because the guy just said they found the bones like a couple houses up from him or in the woods near his house. I'm like, you sure it's not you, buddy?
Well, it could be Thomas Paine. Did you get that part from him?
No. Oh yeah.
Yeah. His bones are
His
never.
bones
Nobody
are-
knows where he
They
was.
disappeared. Yeah, that's funny. I'm gonna mess with this because I lost my camera and I don't know how to get it back. Can you still see it up there?
Oh yeah, we're good.
Well, I can't see anything. And everything I try to do, it says it's going to kill the feed.
Yeah, I can still even see it. It's actually closed caption is.
You got closed caption on there?
Yeah, it's picking up everything. Oh, it's pretty good. Watch.
Oh,
Banana Republic.
I don't. That's weird. I don't even want closed caption on there.
I want it. I can't see, but I can read.
How do I? I hate this.
I don't understand why I'm still seeing it. Are you booted off?
No, because something happened. It got minimized, right? And now I can't
you
do
go-
anything. But if I click this,
Hit escape.
I tried. But maybe this will bring him back.
Yeah, that'll do it. No.
See what I'm saying? This is my problem. But I can't even see comments or anything anymore. Whatever.
Yeah, I think she is. A back to Natalia Grace. I think she is a actual child, though. There's just too much going on. And she's obviously very smart. So at the end, you start feeling bad for this kid that was abused or
Right.
and accosted and tormented. That's literally what happened in this household. At the same time, you're kind of like, well, the parents went to the police. They went to doctors. They talked to people, and nobody would listen to them. So, albeit that they're kind of wacky and goofy themselves, whose side do you take here? I don't know. But anyway, so then all the way up until I'm on season 2, season 3 starts in 5 days. And the way season 3 closed out, I had to rewind. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Because it takes another banana turn now. I don't.
So it's like a cliffhanger type of thing. So they keep you coming back for more. Is that what you mean? Like another crazy twist to the show?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think the show did. Like, it's not, the show's not doing it. I think the kids whacked out too. At the end of the day, I think the kids got obviously some mental issues. They all have mental issues. It's just like the movie The Perfect Storm, but it's the perfect mental issue problem. Right. And everything all converged on one central location with this kid.
I'm just putting my phone back up here because I can't see it any other way. So now we have extra viewers. So the other thing I just heard in the news was there was a woman who just got arrested because she was a foster parent, and from what I read, she had fostered over 200 children, but she just got arrested because
how do you foster over 200 children?
Listen, over I don't know how many years, but they just found one of the kids was in Texas, and the woman traded her for a monkey. She traded the kid for a monkey. She was an exotic pet collector. And I guess the foster parent, the mother. And apparently she gave this kid away for a monkey. And now they found the little girl. And the little girl was talking about this woman was abusing her, and same deal. Not feeding her, and mental and physical abuse. And then not to mention she trades her for a monkey. But then to find out 200 other kids have been in this woman's care. How does this happen?
200 kids.
200 kids. Over 200 kids in her.
Yeah, but even if you've been doing it for 20 years, that's 10 kids a year in foster
Yeah,
care?
and I don't know. Maybe these kids are,
And you have to be cycling 10 out and cycling 10 in the following year. That's what I mean. How are you doing that?
And that just shows you how broken the system is. I don't know. It's crazy.
But if people want to adopt a kid, particularly good people that are in good standing, they make them jump through all sorts of crazy hoops.
Yeah, and I don't know how that works with children. Do they go into foster care as a temporary thing, like until they get a permanent home? Is that how that works, or is it because they don't have places to keep them that they put them in foster homes to live until they're adopted?
Yeah. And in most cases, like my uncle, but he was never, well, he was in foster care with the expectation through my grandparents of the expectation was his parents were like they didn't give him up, so to speak. There was always a plan for him to go back. He never went back, but there was always a plan somewhere in the mix. I mean, my grandparents they raised him like he was one of their own, as far as I know.
Hmm.
He was one of my favorite uncles too, but he ended up like he never let it down. I think deep down it always bothered him, and he ended up taking his life after got into an accident on a quad and he paralyzed himself
Oh,
and never let it live down. Like I think he took it as his life was always screwed up from the beginning and things happened and they didn't never happen in his favor. But the odd occurrence about that night is he was supposed to go fishing with me on my birthday, and he was working at Frito Lay, and we had planned ahead of time to go fishing on the Connecticut River and go just catch carp. And he called and canceled at the pretty much the last minute. And that night he wanted to go ride quads with his buddies, and that night is when the accident took place. So now take that circumstance and put that into context of if I'd only gone fishing.
right. You can't live life with a bunch of what ifs.
No, but
Yeah, I hear you. I know it's weird how things happen. Shasta asked if you looked into Natalia's adoptive mom. She runs a daycare now.
that's another. So I haven't
Oh.
looked into the adoptive mom per se, but they seem like I don't know. They're a bit eccentric. I'll leave it at that. I don't think they mean ill will. I think they mean well, um, but they do seem a little bit just
Out there.
yeah. I mean, they're religious people, but they're overtly religious in the I don't know, just some of their mannerisms, the way that they talk to people, and so on and so forth. Well,
Oh, did you notice my shirt, Eric?
I did. I noticed that when I came in. It's,
Got a author K.A. Brown shirt on right now. I don't know if you guys have checked out any of his books on Amazon, but I got to talk to Rihanna. I think she was almost done with his first book there, and she's really enjoying it. But yeah, thanks, Kevin, for the shirt. It's kind of funny how we ran into him the other day, huh?
yeah, just so I mean, well, you said he doesn't go down there that often, so that was just by
Yeah,
happen chance.
yeah, it was weird. So the other day, Eric and I were doing some work on one of Eric's projects in one of the neighboring towns, and time we finished about 4:30, 5 o'clock, somewhere in there. And Eric was like, "Hey, let's go take a ride down to Nick's place at Two Brothers Pizza in Salem and go grab a beer and a bite to eat." So we roll in. There's no tables, but we're gonna sit at the bar, and we end up sitting down right next to Kevin Brown and his wife.
Yeah,
So that was pretty cool. If you guys haven't seen the interview with Kevin, he's quite the character. So we ended up staying and hanging out. And Rihanna just chimed in. She said the book is great. So yeah, we had a good time and had some great food. Oh, speaking of Two Brothers, did you see my post on Facebook of that sandwich I had this week?
no.
Oh my God. I was at work and Nick Olivers had put a post up about the specials. I think it was Tuesday night. And there was this grilled cheese sandwich stuffed with macaroni and cheese and strips of bacon. And I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, I texted my wife. I go, I need to have this sandwich today because it was a daily special and they don't do it too often. He said so. We went down to Two Brothers and I ordered the special. And I'm in the mug club, so I got a number 19. Grabbed my mug, had a couple Greek Freak beers, and
What day was this?
I think it was Tuesday. This sandwich came out, and you know how on the menu, like you go to McDonald's or you look at a menu in a restaurant, and the food looks like amazing, and then it comes out and it's just like this little
Smashed up.
yeah,
like
like
someone
a piece
stepped
of crap.
on it.
Like what is this? You know. I actually took a picture of the food because it looked better than the advertisement. And I know they took a picture of a sandwich, but I'm like, I'm going to find the picture because the thing is ridiculous.
What's he calling it?
He just, I don't even remember. I think it was a macaroni and cheese, grilled cheese, I think is what it was called.
With bacon.
With bacon. But I mean,
Yeah, it looks good.
dude, right? I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'll even get up and put it in the camera. Here, you gotta tell me if I'm close.
All right.
This is worth seeing.
Can't see it where you're trying. Put your phone on night vision. Hold on. Yeah, it's the video still catching up. Closer. Closer. Oh, the video is still catching up. Wow, you can't really see it. Nope, can't see it. You're
Well,
going closer.
I'll put a picture.
All right, he's going to put a picture.
It's worth it. But if you guys are ever in Connecticut and you're anywhere near Salem, Connecticut, or even if you're not, it's worth the detour. You go down to the casino or Foxwoods or what's the other casino? Mohegan Sun.
Yeah.
Take a ride up.
He's got a pretty good atmosphere in there on his customer base. The people that go in there, it's casual, it's very relaxed. Everybody knows either Nick or knows a good amount of other people in there. It's very locally, towny type of oriented.
It is, and he does a lot of volunteer work with the veteran community. So there's always a lot of veterans, public servant type people. Cops,
two people that sat
firefighters.
next to me that night, both of them were veterans.
Right. And it's cool. I mean, the memorabilia and the decor in the restaurant it's all patches and coins and pictures and flags and different things, military or firefighter, police, EMT type things, author stuff, Kevin Brown. So yeah, it's a cool atmosphere. Definitely a good place to visit.
So we're talking about going to TikTok because TikTok offers a live interactive platform. Does everybody here that's listening now, does everybody use TikTok?
Tick tock.
Where the whole goal is to have an actual engagement with people. Where obviously we're engaging with people here, but there's it's like a 10-second, 20-second delay somewhere in between there.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work. I mean, I think TikTok is quicker, but I also don't know. Can you go live for an hour? Can you go live for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
20 minutes?
There's people that go live to watch themselves sleep. And people literally go on the TikTok and they watch people sleeping. For what intent or purpose, I have no idea, but they do it. So Shasta says, yep.
Yep. Yeah, I think we'll mess around with it and see what we can figure out. I mean, I'll try to post more videos to get followers, but on the TikTok videos, I'm pushing them to the Facebook page.
I agree. I just don't think, I think ever since the last 4 years, Facebook has kind of run its course, so to speak, especially once people found out that they were being censored. That was a big hurt to Facebook.
Yeah. I also think the algorithms with Facebook, the live, it's pretty restrictive, whereas TikTok is not as restrictive. So when you put out content on TikTok, I think you have the ability to reach a lot more people sooner or quicker. But you also have the ability of losing interest pretty quickly. It's like
On TikTok?
yeah, I think people are into like instant gratification, and like we're gonna gain followers by doing quick videos or interesting clips or like a 30-second something or sound bites and whatever. Unless we have the followers already, I think going live, we're not really gonna gain.
I don't know. See, with TikTok, it's so like I'll get on there and just scroll. Now, for whatever reason, I seem to be running. I'd like to ask other people this. I'm running into nothing but DJs. Even when I was showing you that, you're like, everything you got is a DJ. I couldn't get away from them.
Wah, wah.
So I was getting all sorts of, yeah, just internet DJs. I don't even understand that concept. People on mixing boards and everything else.
Well, it's follows, right? I mean, if they're putting out they're on live and they're putting out we'll call it an open house party or whatever, and they're doing live DJ.
Yeah, there's so many of them. It's not just one or two.
But it's a hit. So people are, I guess
I don't get it.
let's say you're at a party and you want to have a live DJ, you throw TikTok up on your TV and just have the live DJ. I don't know.
I go on there and ask them to play made up songs. I do.
What do they say?
Dumpster Fire by Coochie Train. People will go, and they'll literally try to look it up, and they'll be reading it dumpster
Fire.
right.
We don't have that artist.
That's what they're like. They're like, how do you spell it? Like DUMPSTAFIYA.
Fire.
And who's it played by?
Some New Englander. Brian, we appreciate that. He says he's still trying to pass the word about us.
Yeah, I think Facebook is become hit or miss now. Whereas, look, the popularity of the program, in my opinion, has kind of lost its zeal. Ever since that, look, you censor America, and the people in the audience that are likely to listen or join into our content, a lot of them are turned off, and then they just kind of wither away after time. Sure, people still have accounts, but I don't think it's anywhere near as active as what it was.
Yeah.
My opinion.
No, I agree. And I think you're right, though, about the algorithm of Facebook. Let's face it, the content that we're putting out is, I guess, a lot of people just because of our interaction with people. And we're not left or right. I don't think we've put out anything like that, nothing that we've certainly published. And I think we get labeled. And,
100%.
Conservatives are definitely, they're definitely put to the back burner on this platform.
So, if anything, by standard and definition, I think we would be considered left if you were to go back to like the Kennedy era. But do you know where the term left and right originated from? Politics wise?
No.
So it was back in the days of the monarchies. It was, let's go to England. So just to talk about something in relation there. So the people on the right were more in tune and aligned with, they were people that owned property. They were aristocrats. They were wealth managers. They had money, right? And the people on the left were considered the common people. And so that just kind of stuck as left or right. But today that term is not applicable. Not by any of the definitions that it was intended for. And the reason, what made me look that up is there's another person that I'm friends with on Facebook, and she happened to post how the right-wing and conservative side of politics is closely related to what Hitler, Nazi Germany did. And first of all, that is so loony to even try to tie that in comparison together. It's not even close. And so I did respond to her with under the preface of, look, first of all, you got to look at what the Nazi Party was. It was a socialist democratic party. That's what it was. Socialist democratic party.
Majority rules.
Majority rules, socialist systems. You name it, and there's not a conservative person that I know that believes, thinks, or implies that that should be the way that America should move forward. Not one have I
Right.
met.
Yeah.
So to even equate that, it's so far fetched. It's not even in the realm of reality.
Well, people just know that it's kind of a derogatory thing to say. It could be insulting and offensive, so that's why they use it. And
Yeah, but
it's like going back to second grade and just calling somebody names like Nana Nana Boo Boo. You know what I mean?
right, but that's literally what you're dealing with in political parties.
Oh yeah,
that,
no,
you know.
it's absurd.
And if you ask people what a fascist is, they'll just tell you, they'll call you it, but they won't say. Or even with the whole look, the burning of Teslas and destructive of the Tesla properties, and then they're tagging it with a Nazi swastika, and then claiming, well, that the Nazis are on the other side of the aisle there. And I'm like, okay, have you ever heard of? Well, everybody's familiar with the Crips and the Bloods. The Crips don't go around painting the Bloods gang sign on stuff, right?
Right, right.
Well, these guys are going around painting Nazi swastikas on people's car. And the irony, in my opinion, in all that is, look, good for Tesla. It's not my thought on the matter. If you want to get an electric vehicle, get an electric vehicle. It's never appealed to me. It's more other than nostalgia, but at the end of the day, I look at it as a giant remote control car. That's all that it is, that you're literally sitting in my mind.
That they can take control of anytime they want.
that now they can take control of anytime they want. And you try to explain that to people and nobody gets it. But the point that I'm making here is most of the people that bought in as the early adopters of Tesla, they were on the left side. And they've since obviously switched because now their cars are getting destroyed by the same thing that the people on the conservative side have been saying, look, we're going in the wrong direction here.
They're eating themselves.
Correct. And to have the association with that, it should be a negative connotation, but there's still people out there that are supporting that, you know.
It's disgusting. It really is disgusting to see what's going on. And I don't even watch the news because, first off, I think the news is gonna spoon feed you exactly what they want the American public to see, right? And that's,
either side, it doesn't matter.
That's
Fox,
a manipulation
CNN,
thing.
Right.
That is propaganda. And I'd be curious to see, because I see a lot of Teslas on the highways here commuting back and forth to work, and I'm looking, man, is that thing keyed? Is there a dent in it? Is it spray painted? I haven't seen any of that here in this state, but we also live in a highly democratic state, which, so that goes against what's happening. I would think, now the Democrats, I would think, are the ones that are vandalizing these Teslas and these Tesla dealerships. I would think that all these cars would be trashed here.
So I had this conversation with my wife the other day and saying just that about Connecticut. Yes, it's a major left-leaning state. I don't even know if it's major left-leaning. I think that a majority of the votes that are gaining the left are coming from the handout portion, and they're getting this from inner cities of the
all
state,
the urban areas, and I mean it's like any state, really, right? I mean,
right. So that and the politics of it placates to those people. Well, so they're just going in voting as long as it's got a letter D to it. It's got a letter D. That doesn't mean that what we're seeing on the news. A lot of this stuff is happening in places like Seattle, Washington D.C. It's happening in these crazy states, and I say Seattle is absolutely a crazy state. Just going back to the whole Chaz and Chop thing, they took over an entire city.
Right. And that was fine, right? They were allowed to do that.
Right.
But you protest in D.C. and, oh my God, it's the end of the world.
So
Danny says Connecticut used to be a red state.
It did. It used to be conservative on the, very much so. I don't know where that changed that heavily, but I know Weicker kind of like left a bad taste in a lot of what I would call hardcore New Englanders' mouth, right? And Weicker, I think, was an independent, but This was another political promise that was made. There was no state income tax here at one point.
Oh, and it was supposed to be temporary, right?
Correct.
When they instituted that tax.
Correct.
Temporary state income tax.
Right. And I always thought Connecticut was more on the conservative side, and it may be. Maybe Connecticut's the general consensus is left of center, maybe not so far extreme of center. I don't know. I mean, I just find it crazy how people keep voting for the same things. I say that, but then you've got certain politicians here that have come out and they flat out say they support the Communist Party. One of them being Richard Blumenthal. It's all that was on the news, and
that's Da Nang Dick, right? The
Right.
Vietnam War hero.
and you vote that in. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. You're still voting for that. That's a problem.
Yeah, and then I gotta question the voting. I mean, some of these people have been in office for 75% of their lives.
Oh, and you got John Larson. And I think John Larson was a nice guy back in his day. He's my representative. I deal with his office. I don't deal with him, but I have, on the occasions I have dealt with him. Look, he's so old. His Social Security number is 1. All right. And
He owes Jesus $1.
right. He's got some, and you talk to him. Like, I mean, if you try to have an actual conversation, not get up and listen to his talking points because those are all pre-programmed in his mind. But if you have a conversation with him, the guy's non-existent. He's on a planet that hasn't been discovered yet. You just can't have a conversation with this guy. But people vote him in because he's got a D in front of his name.
Right.
And I don't think that he meant bad. I think that he was on the left of center type of guy. But the reality is he's just a name on a ballot. I don't even think he participates, and I communicate with his office on a good amount of stuff, and I never ever get to talk to him.
Yeah, I don't get it. And some of these comments that are coming through, Danny says,
It's not mathematically possible to win 10 years in a row now, never mind 25. I do question that as well.
it's crazy.
If you're, with the other election in 2020, whether or not it was questioned, it was rigged, is in my mind irrelevant. Because I think the data shows that in every aspect, but it made me question states like California. Those people cannot possibly be voting for what the Gavin Newsom agenda is. I don't think they are. I think it is rigged.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, you got to question how these people. You go and you talk to your neighbors, and then you go to the grocery store, and you're at the gas station, and you hear all these people. I didn't vote for that. I didn't vote for that. Oh, I can't believe what's going on. But yet they're still winning the elections. Well, if your neighbors aren't voting for them, and the people that you're talking to aren't voting for them, and you talk to your state representatives, and they disagree because they're on the other side of the aisle, at some point you got to question who is voting for these people. How do they keep getting into office?
I think it's like I said. I think you've got just bulk loads of votes with the letter D on it just going in there. And it's not that there are people that are in tune to it, but on the same time, look at how many people have been caught in the state of Connecticut casting ballots illegally. Right. The fraud. It's clearly here.
That's treason. They should be punished. They should be imprisoned.
Look, I 100% agree that at some point the example has to be made that you're stealing from the American people, and you're doing it out of no other reason than your belief. Well, now you're saying your belief trumps my belief, and if you don't get your way, you're going to do whatever it takes to get your way. Whether it's steal, rape, pillage, it doesn't matter. There's no limitation with that. It's avoiding all moral conscience that the country should be living off of.
Well, and when they're, you talk about they're doing it for a living, right? If someone is going to take food off of my table, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to make sure that doesn't happen. So you talk about career politicians.
Well, that's the problem,
right?
See, it was meant to serve your community, serve the
public
state.
servant. So leave your job,
right?
Do a term,
right?
So Brian says term limits should be a thing. I just want to give a shout out. We got Doug Capazzi's watching.
Hey, Doug.
Doug, I'm glad you tuned in. So did everybody get a chance to see the interview with Doug Capazzi? Actually, I think everybody that's on right now did see it. We got a lot of good feedback. That was a great story. I love sitting down with him.
Yeah, it was a good talk.
Yeah, he's good in front of the camera. You're not shy, Doug, that's for sure. Learned a lot of things, and what I liked about that was, you had people that that were commenting during the interview that they learned some things about you that they'd never heard before, and that's one of the things I've heard a couple times now on the podcast is we're bringing out we're bringing out these information that people never knew. You hang out with these guys every day, or not every day, but you hang out with them often, and you're friends with them, and you get them on an interview, and you have a couple total strangers interviewing them, and now you're finding stuff out that maybe you weren't supposed to know about these guys. But yeah, that was cool.
Dina asked me before I left if I wanted something to eat. I didn't, but I want to order a pizza.
Just have another beer sandwich. I don't know what the problem is.
You don't want pizza? Well, I know you want pizza. You look like you want pizza.
No, I just ate.
Did you?
What'd
you eat?
I had unstuffed peppers.
So you had peppers.
Unstuffed. Everything in a stuffed pepper except it was in a bowl.
Oh.
To include the pepper. So yeah, I'm good. But yeah, you can order pizza, of course. Yeah, a couple comments here. So Danny is friends with Justin Wilson. Doug said he just had a pizza. Good for you.
Yeah, I gotta get something to eat.
Yeah, he said Lamont is openly committing treason. Yeah, there's a couple other.
So, Danny, are you familiar? Was Danny familiar with the whole ban PBC stuff that we were pursuing? The public benefits charge in the state of Connecticut, and that is clearly, well, to our argument, unconstitutional, with precedent law to back up that argument. But that was another good example where they're taking this 30% of our electric bill, and they're using it for basically a state spending fund for their political agenda. And there's no requirement to have this other than an agenda. You don't need it to get electricity to and from to your house to use it. It's just the political agenda, and that's what makes it wrong. Is now you're forcing it down our throat by telling us we have the burden of these fees to consume because you say so.
I told you so.
Brian says you want pizza. Let me get
Greek Freak, Epicure Brewing.
All right, where do you order pizza from?
Whoa, holy moly. I forget the name of it.
Bolton Pizza? Family Pizza?
Brownie.
Is that the one you got with the pineapple?
Oh, I love Hawaiian pizza. I love it.
No, we do got to do our interviews tonight. No, Thomas Payne's not going to be short.
Yeah, we do. All right. I guess we can wrap it up. Yeah, we probably have a good couple hours of recording we got to do tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Danny says he's very aware of the public benefits. He says he has solar. He gets zero charge for that.
Okay, that's a great point, Danny. That being a great point, that right there is part of what makes it unconstitutional, because there are people that cannot get solar, and they're compelled to pay this fee, even if they wanted it. Right? They're just not in the right azimuth, the right orientation. They may not have. They may have shading. There's a myriad of things that would prohibit somebody from getting solar, but yet they're still compelled to pay the fee. And albeit it's great that, yeah, because you have solar, it's not working for you. I mean, you don't have to pay the charge. That does not make it fair for other citizens. And therein lies part of the problem. That's just a small part of it, but that is just another point to be made.
That's it. Brian wants to know if we can ride this summer. Heck yeah, brother. We're going to ride. It's been snowing down here.
Is it snowing?
It was snowing yesterday. It was crazy. Not
in New
today.
Hampshire?
Not today. No.
Oh.
No, it was snowing here the other day.
Yeah, I drove through, when I was driving through Columbia, it was hitting snow.
Yeah, it was crazy. I got a text message from our, at work. They do a group weather text, and they're like, careful on your ride to work. Their squalls are pretty bad. Like, I'm glad I'm not on the bike. All right. Anyway, thanks guys for tuning in. We're glad. Thank you for your support. Appreciate everything. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the podcast. We got a couple more This Is America segments lined up. We've got a veteran named Jennifer Gray that's going to be on probably in the next couple weeks, and we still want to do the spouses edition of first responders, military vets, and talk about the other side of the coin, the people that sit home and support these other people while they're doing their whatever dangerous jobs, public service jobs, police officers, firefighters, whatever the case may be. But yeah, we got stuff coming down the pipe. So with that being said, Eric is ordering his pizza, so I will sign off for both of us. But we appreciate you guys watching, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.
Thanks, guys.